Hey, welcome to the show. Every Sunday afternoon, we answer your home improvement questions. My name is Jared Mellick. Sitting next to me is my father, Ken.
Hey, everyone.
Surprise, surprise.
This show is all about your questions, so we're looking forward to your calls.
Where are you? You're in the house.
It's In the House with Ken and Jared, minus Jared today. As Scott said, this show is about your questions, though, so I'll be here waiting for your calls. And so anything you have around your house that you want to know about, you got a project, your roof's leaking, you got some plumbing questions, air conditioning, electrical, we don't really care. I've got Josh in the studio with me, though, our production manager. Can you say hi?
Yeah. I mean, happy birthday, Jared. Glad it's his birthday.
Hey, he's 39 years old today. Tomorrow, actually.
That's old.
Yeah, and here he is. I think about that. I remember Jared at 2 years old fixing this little work box, and he had a hammer and nail and a little play saw. And at 2 years old, he'd come with me and eat the lunch out of my box lunch. And I'd set up nails, and he'd hammer all the time. He's had a love for construction his entire life. Now he's a licensed contractor, and currently Jared is the president of Universal Roof and Contracting, and doing an awesome job. It's great to be able to have someone of his caliber to take a business that I've grown for 42 years, and someone of his capability to turn it over to, along with my other children, and know that it's in great hands. Anyway, happy birthday, Jared. I love you, man. You're just a awesome child of God who follows that, and you've always been an amazing person. And anyway, happy birthday, son. Anyway, today is all about your questions, so please give us a call about anything that's on your list that you need to have done. The numbers here at the office at the show, are 407-297-9696, 855-297-9696. I know I'd like to talk a little bit today at some point about the high winds we had a couple of weeks ago, the tornadoes that hit over to Edgewater. We had high winds out in Apopka and Oviedo, Geneva area, Winter Springs, all of that. So if you were affected in any way by high winds or hail, I'd like to hear from you today so I could talk to you a little bit about what you need to look at, what you need to have us look at, whether or not you think you have an insurance claim, or that you have damage on your home, or you've developed a leak of some sort, or you've got some shingles on the ground, or a tree fell. Let's talk about it and see what you need to do to be prepared for that. Hey, this holiday season is also one you want to be thinking about safety. So on the way over here, Josh and I were talking about how important it is to be safe during the holidays. If we do get cold, how you don't plug in that electric heater, how you how you overload your circuit breakers with Christmas tree lights, and all of those little details. And we'll be talking about those coming up too. But again, the show is about your questions, and we appreciate your calls. And you can reach us here at the station, 407-297-9696, 855-297-9696. It was pretty exciting a week ago when I was watching the news, and they were thinking that these tornadoes are going to be touching down somewhere, and it ended up touching down over in Edgewater, the town of Edgewater. A pretty scary thing when you think about those kind of winds and the damage that they do, and how you need to be prepared for those kind of things if your power goes out, and if you have enough things to feed your family, to have power to back up, to emergency kits, so to speak.
Yeah, it seems like as soon as we Floridians get out of hurricane season, we all go, whew,
yeah.
And then the emergency plan kind of goes by the wayside. We get into holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and then don't really think about it until the sales start next year for, generators and things like that as we go back into hurricane season. So it's really important to have a plan all year long. As you enter the dry season in the fall, you really need to have a plan that includes, fire safety, making sure that you don't just, I know a lot of people just pull the smoke detectors off the ceiling because they don't want to hear that annoying chirp. That's not the right thing to do. Looking at some statistics for 2011, it's pretty staggering. We're in a downward trend, obviously over the years as technology's gotten greater, but 2011, there was 3,005 deaths related to home fires.
Wow.
And that's on the FEMA website, National Fire Protection Association.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, 3,000 people. And when you think about the technology that now goes into construction, that number really should be zero.
Yes.
We are at the point now where we now have dual smoke detector, carbon monoxide detectors. If you don't have one of those, you need one of those, because a fire doesn't have to be burning to kill you. You could have a smoldering blanket or something in your garage that's emitting carbon dioxide and ends up suffocating you and your family in your sleep. So really, going to the big box store or going online and looking into a high-quality carbon monoxide smoke detector and having them throughout your entire house interlinked with battery backup, where you take the time to go back and replace those batteries at least once a year, is imperative to your safety. Our neighbor, Ken and I live near each other. Our neighbor had a fire in their home. They're not living there this Christmas because their house almost burned down. The dryer set on fire.
Yeah, and a dryer usually what it is it fills with lint. You don't clean it, it gets hot, and bam, that lint catches on fire. Really pretty simple.
Oh, it was unbelievable, the damage. And he said, we're pretty close to a fire station. I guess it burned for like 5 minutes. And it almost destroyed the entire house between the damage that the flames caused in the garage, the smoke pouring through the entire house,
and then the water.
And then when the fire crew shows up to put that fire out, it's just unbelievable. So having a good smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector, and also fire extinguishers handy that you check and do not let them go over the expiration date. Those are all imperative to your safety.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit coming up. I want to tell you a quick story that happened to me last weekend. But in the meantime, we did get a phone call from Winter Park, and it's Lencho. Okay. Hey, buddy. Thanks for your call. We appreciate your call today.
You're welcome.
How can I help you?
Okay, question. You were talking about circuit breakers before. Do circuit breakers ever grow old and partially function?
Well,
do they have to be replaced?
Well, not that I know of. I think that they can short out. I think you're talking about a circuit breaker that's maybe 30 or 40 years old. I think
That's
could.
The one.
Yeah, that's the one you have.
Oh, I got several of them.
Okay.
They're pretty old, and what happens is that, let's say I turn the lights on, and maybe I turn something else on. Not really overloading the circuit, but all of a sudden the lights go out.
Oh, sure.
The breakers do not trip.
Wow.
After a while, things go back to normal again.
Well, I tell you what, I think I'd have an electrician in there. You're talking about a chance to create a fire, and I think your homeowner's insurance even may not insure you coming up if they knew that kind of stuff was going on. And
well, it shouldn't be a fire. I mean, there's no overload. It's just that, I don't know, maybe it's something else. If it's something else, it's something else. But it might be the circuit breakers. They are about 40 years old.
Sure. Well, I think I'd be changing them out. And the reason is, if it comes back on its own, it means that the power is going through there. If the circuit's not working right, I think you have a chance of a fire. It's not one I would want to take a chance on. It would be pretty cheap insurance, in my opinion, to have a state certified electrician take a look at that, the cost of that would be minimal compared to the result.
Do you know if your panel's grounded? If it's 40 years old, how many prongs are your outlets? Do you have 2-prong outlets or 3-prong throughout your house?
3-prong outlets. There's a ground in the outlet.
Okay.
But
Right. Do you know if the panel...
If I turn the lights on, that doesn't... I imagine it's grounded also.
Hey, Lencho, we got a electrician who just called in, Rob, and we're gonna drop off with you for just a minute, get Rob on the line and see if he can answer this, or can we do both on the same line? So you stay on. We're going to have you and Rob both on the line. Hey, okay. Rob, thanks for calling in, buddy. We really appreciate your expertise.
Most likely what he has is an old Federal Pacific electric panel, and the way they snap in, they tend to lose their compression, and they start to arc inside the panel.
Okay.
They won't trip out because it's not a short or it's not enough heat to trip the panel. It trips either on heat or short, but it'll arc across there, and it'll momentarily stop it out. If he does have Federal Pacific breakers in his house, the best thing he can do is have an electrician come out and remove that panel. That is an absolute old, dangerous panel.
Yeah.
And most of the new homeowners insurance will not write a policy with those panels in there now.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking. And, Rob, that's super advice. Did you hear that, Lencho?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay. Well,
so I should have someone look at it and perhaps change the panel itself as well as the breakers.
Well, and I'd certainly do that, and I would do it before Christmas. Would be the worst thing ever with the overload of Christmas lights and all of that you have a problem then. So, right. Rob, thanks for your call in, and Lencho, good luck with that problem. And when you rewire, give us a call back and let us know what that cost you and how were you able to get it done. Everyone pay attention to that. Lencho, thanks for your call in, buddy. We were talking earlier about safety, Josh, and how important that is. And I just told the story on myself about not going the extra mile and making sure I had a fire extinguisher available. And we all need to do that. We need to take a look at your home and say, hey, what is it around my house? Is your garage more cluttered than it ought to be? Do you have things that are in disarray that you need to fix? Do you have, like earlier, Lencho called and he had an electrical problem with his circuits and a possible way to burn his house down? Your neighbor, Josh, our neighbor, had lint in his dryer and hadn't got around to cleaning out the dryer vent for a long period of time. Ended up catching the house on fire. Now they're living in a hotel for the holidays, all because of safety.
Yeah, when we buy our houses, it's like you never want to spend money on it. You buy the house, you make that monthly payment every single month on time. You want your money to go to something fun. You want it to go to the boat, the truck, the toy, vacations. But when you think about how precious life is and how something like $800 or $1,000 for a new electrical panel, or as simple as $30 for new 9-volt batteries for your entire house, just for smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors, that is the cheapest insurance you can get. And as a lot of these houses now are split floor plans, if you know that there's a kitchen that separates you from your children, they need to have a plan to get out of the house without you getting them out of the house.
Yeah.
If there was a kitchen fire in the middle of the night, someone left the stove on, and it caught fire to the hallway, your children need to know how to get out of that house without you coming to get them. So, that's kind of one of the things that I definitely talk to my kids about is we have smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors that actually speak. So the whole house goes off and they say fire, alert, get out of, evacuate. So you really need to have a plan. And then that's just fire. Then you need to have a plan. We don't have basements here in Florida. I'm from Michigan where we have basements. So if there was a tornado, you just go down the basement and get under a table. But here, you need to know where your strongest walls are in your house and where to be if there was a tornado and you're stuck in your house. So all of those things, and there's some great websites you can go to. FEMA, go to the FEMA website. They have some awesome, kind of like interactive tools to plan, and it'll get you thinking about what you need to be doing. Are your smoke detectors expired? Do you need new batteries in your carbon monoxide smoke detectors? Do you need new fire extinguishers? Just go down the list with your family. Make sure that your kids know what to do in the event that they smell smoke or they get woken up and there's a smoke alarm.
Yeah. How precious life is. And when you think about that, and I couldn't even hardly watch the news the other morning as they were describing what happened in Connecticut and the crazy young man that kills these little 5-year-old children, and what a sad day that it was for so many families that were that morning in a hurry to get their family together and off to school, and maybe not holding them and hugging them and saying that last goodbye. And as you think about what a tragedy, that was, don't let any tragedies happen in your life that you could have protected by making a list and going around your home and saying, hey, plugging in that heater on a cold day isn't a good idea. Maybe I've got too many Christmas tree lights on that strand.
Have your air conditioning serviced. When that heater first kicks on and you smell that kind of crispy smell of the burning dust that's accumulated over the year on that coil, we all know that moment smell, a couple seconds is somewhat normal. But if you notice it for more than a minute, it's time to bring in a licensed air conditioning guy to get in there and check your system out. A lot of people that listen to the show in our listener area, they don't have gas in their home. They don't have natural gas, but some do. If you live in an area with natural gas, or even if you had propane put on your home, like I know Aaron did, Ken's son, Aaron, had propane put in for his kitchen. Once you do that with gas, you have now opened yourself up to another set of safety issues that you need to address on a yearly basis.
And I appreciate you saying that. I'm probably as guilty as anybody when it comes to smoke detectors, not changing them out as often as I should. And we all need to look in the mirror and say, hey, what is it that I'm not doing to protect my family? And I don't mean to beat a dead horse over and over again. It's just such a precious time of the year, and our families mean so much to us. And as I think about families sometimes, which has never happened in mine, but where families have arguments and then they don't go back and say they're sorry. I mean, this is the time of year when you think about what's going on in this country and around the world, that you need to make amends and make happiness in your family, and be the bigger person and apologize and go to someone and say, hey, I'm sorry for the feelings that I've had, and you'll be a better person for it. And is there anything better than being close to your family during the holiday? I don't think there is. I have 6 children and 17 grandchildren. God has blessed me so much, and I'm grateful for that. And Jared's not here today. It's his birthday. He's 39 years old today and off with his wife, enjoying celebrating his birthday, and I miss him here at the station. As you know, when it comes to the radio, Jared's usually the one that running the show, talking about everything, and is an intelligent, blessed person, and I'm so grateful to be his father. Anyway,
I did want to talk to you about it. Someone emailed a question in, and I didn't bring it with me, but I do remember it.
Okay.
And it was basically along the lines of, I went up on my roof to put Christmas lights up, bought the proper clips, wasn't going to do the Chevy Chase and Clark Griswold and just nail it to the shingles. And I noticed on the back side of the roof that there were shingles that would slide but weren't totally loose.
Mm-hmm.
And he was wondering, I believe his name was Tim, if he could just re-nail that, or if he needs to have that looked at.
That's a good question, and over the years, I can't tell you how many roofs that I've been on that people have had that exact situation where for some reason they found a shingle on the ground, or they looked up and they saw something loose, or they got a leak, and I go up there and that's exactly what's going on. It's not just that one shingle that's loose and nailing that one shingle. And once in a while it is, but usually not. If there's one shingle that's sliding, then you just fix that, and it's an easy fix. But typically when that happens, it is an indication of high winds. Older shingles years ago used to have wind resistance of 60 or 70 miles an hour. Now, the state of Florida has passed the law that you have to meet Miami-Dade requirement of 150 miles an hour. So the new roofs are going to be able to take wind resistance of 150. Those old roofs, 60 or 70. So you think back of how many winds that we've had in excess of 60, 70 miles an hour. There's been a lot of those days, which means that you could have damage on your roof. You also hear about the hail hitting one side of town. Last week, it was in Apopka. It was out in Geneva, Oviedo, Winter Springs, 1.5 to 2 inch hail. Down around Dr. Phillips, they've had a significant amount of hail down there too. So if you're wondering what condition your roof's in, very simple. Give us a call, 407-295-7403. Jared and I'll be right out. Take a look at that for you. No charge. We're just glad to come meet you and listen and meet our great listeners. Anyway, we have a call from Dorothy from Sanford. Dorothy, thanks for your call.
You're welcome. I spoke to your son about 3 weeks ago, but I was so taken up with time, I didn't have the time to make an appointment. I told him about a crack I had on the west side of the building.
Okay.
Where the center blocks is, and it's shaped like a step. Like they have it stuck on the outside, but they didn't have enough, so it's hidden.
Sure.
Okay, yesterday I was walking around the house, and they put a gutter on the back straight across, but they didn't put nothing on the side. So I look up and I see the dash under the roof, like someone clipped it 4 or 5 places.
Yeah.
It's a possibility it could be a space for a squirrel to walk into.
Sure.
I'm a little concerned about that. So being you're a roofer also, you'll be able to tell me something on that.
Yeah, you need...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you need to have us out and take a look at that. It could be nothing or it could be something, and we'd be more than happy to come out, Dorothy. Give the office a call tomorrow morning, or you can call today and leave a message, and they'll call you back. But the number at the office is for Universal Roof and Contracting, 407-295-7403.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. I'll leave the message now. Wednesday will be the best time for me. Monday and Tuesday is taken, so Wednesday will be the best time for me. Thank you.
Sure. They'll call you and they'll work out the schedule with you. Again.
Okay, and congratulations on your son and his kids.
Thank you.
You do have a nice son, and he's really, really a business person. I like to hear him on there. He sounds very official and professional.
Well, thank you very much, Dorothy. Merry Christmas. We'll take a break now. See you later. Hey, David is calling from St. Cloud. How you doing, dude? How are you?
All righty. I just got a quick question for you. I know you're short on time, but on my ceilings and one of the Florida rooms, I see a little bit of staining in my sheetrock kind of cracking.
Yep.
But then I looked around the house, and I noticed several larger cracks on the sheetrock joints, it seems like to me, but there's no staining or nothing. The house is about 30 years old.
Sure.
But the roof looks good. I don't know if I need a roofing contractor to look at all these cracks or what.
Well, the thing is, we're licensed roofing and general contractors. So once you give us a call at the office, either one of us will come out there and we'll take a look at the stains and the cracks, and we'll be able to tell you what's going on with it, what happened, and what you can do to fix it. We'll give you an estimate for that, and we'll check out your roof, give you an evaluation of your roof and the time left in it. And, we'd love to do it.